So comment, subscribe, dislike, or like. Check out the links in the descriptions for other of my sites, other activities that I'm involved in. Got a whole bunch of Facebook groups you can check out. I play multiple card games, so I do music among other things, so check out the links in the description.
This is my Hatchhyack Negative Energy Blue Unison deck. Copy of the leader. 4 Oceana Shenron, 4 Shen Shenron, 4 Hei Shenron, 4 SS Shenron, 4 Dr. Leche, 4 Adventure Begins, Goku L4 4-star Ball, 4 Max Power Kamehameha, 4 Power Burst, 4 Dirty Burst, 4 Janemba Wicked Unison, 4 Tapion Unison, 4 Ratchet Force Unison, 4 Gold Absolute Unison, and 4 Goku Protect of the Earth Unison. So Tapion Hero revived. It's great synergy with the Sen Shenron because of the Spirit Boost ability. And Spirit Boost 1, which will help you heal your opponent at the same time as standing, so that we can use it to attack and block. Something you obviously take advantage of. So you'll be able to mill once each turn with this. Because you mill on your turn when you use this. Use your swing, then activate the active battle to untap an energy. To move a marker to be standard. So you want to win the card. Then once turn after you block, you declare this as a blocker. Then you can trigger its active battle ability. The Spirit Boost on your opponent's turn will run on marker Unison and be standing it. And make your opponent mill, and of course you'll be able to block a secondary time that turn. This has the ability to gain 2 markers, so that way you can do that, that we can afford to move a marker your turn and your opponent's turn. So good synergy there. It's a 19k, so it's pretty strong, so you don't have to worry about too many people trying to knock markers off of this. Or at least it won't be easy to knock markers off of this. They have to put resources, they have to commit resources in order to try to knock markers off of this. But the fact that you're literally using a blocker with it, chances of protecting it's higher. So there's synergy there, sword and shield strategy, right? So as the +2, active main where you may switch this card to rest mode if you do draw a card, so some card advantage there. Then it has the auto once per turn if it's your turn. Remember that, your turn. When you remove a marker from this card using the Spirit Boost skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost greater than or equal to the current energy and return it to the owner's hand. This is a good reusable way of keeping your opponent's board clear, resetting your opponent. So that way they can't build up a board easily. Of course, if they cheat stuff out, this is helpful in those regards. Like, for example, if they drop thwarting, thwarting, you can obviously use this to bounce it back to the hand, which means they have to go through all the trouble of playing it out again by discarding a, Vegeta Zeno, Goku Zeno. Or anything else similar to that, especially if somebody does like a chain for their Union Absorb or something like that, especially the Real Duel deck is a thing. So you get the idea. The ability to control your opponent's board is definitely important. It's part of your defensive game plan, right? So there's that. We got to further add to the ability to mill, we got Janemba Unison with its +0 ability where you and your opponent draw a card and then your opponent mills a card. So that way they're taking 2 cards out their deck, on top of the fact that they draw with their leader. That's 3 cards out the deck every time it's your turn. This has the +1 ability where you can gain crit in case you want to swing at your opponent. And of course, you could combine this with your Sin Shinron, do the +1, so you can get crit, use it to swing, crit damage, so that way your opponent doesn't gain any card advantage, right? And then use this to protect it, and just keep, and then use this to protect it, as well as, obviously trigger Spirit Boost, so that way you can block twice on your opponent's turn. This does have the -2 ability, which is if your opponent has 15 or less cards in their deck, this card gains 15k power and triple strike. So it'll be a 30k triple strikes used as a win. But typically you play this Janemba like close to late game where you're trying to get some extra mills. Radish Giant Force, of course, 19k. It's a blocker, it has an auto that when after you activate the blocker skill, it restands, so that way you can obviously block again. +0 ability will let you draw a card. And then at the end it turn switches this card to active mode so that way you can attack with it. Get a card for its effect. Restand it so you can block with it twice the following turn. And he's 19k, which is obviously helpful against leaders and unisons that are typically 15k. Has the -2 ability where you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and return to the opponent's hands. Then switch one of your blue energy to active mode, so this has a way to help you clear the board a little bit so you can control the game. Keep your defenses up. We got Gold Tank Steps of Unison, dual attack, blocker, 20k body. So you can obviously use this to block pressure. You can attack with it, then restand and use it to block. Attack, block, attack, kind of stuff. That's defensive stance, right? Then it has the -3 ability to choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, which is important, right? And then place them at the bottom of your opponent's deck. So it's a pseudo board wipe. Then we have Goku with his auto and your plagated effect, right? When you play this card during the next turn, they can't attack with battle cards unless they choose one of their battle cards with energy cost 2 or higher and place it at the bottom of their deck. Then we combine that with the -2 ability, choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, which is important, right? Return to their hand. So it's a way of clearing a board, especially a board of anything that has a barrier. And also good for clearing away blockers, which is always important. Dirty Burst, it's a negate, 1 energy, or you can play for its counterplay effect. So you have to pay 2, 1 to play the extra card, 1 to activate the effect. Draw a card, and your opponent can't attack with battle cards with energy cost 7 or more. So this helps cover you, because the leader effect is already going to restrict your opponent to 7 costs or less, only being able to attack once. This will cover you for when they try to drop 8 drops and higher to try to get extra attacks. This will cover you for that. Keep that in mind. And then of course we have Oceanus, a blocker. She negates an attack, and she has the floodgate ability that if your opponent attacks their mill cards, so further goes with the mill strategy. Sin Shinron, he's barrier blocker with double strike and deflect. And of course the Spirit Boost ability to let him restand, so you can mill your opponent and be able to use him to block. Hey Shinron, crit with blocker, so that way you can attack your opponent, deal damage, but they don't get no advantage from that. And he's a blocker, so obviously you can keep your defenses up. And he has the auto there that when he attacks, you can choose one of your opponent's back cards and warp it, so it helps you control your opponent's board. And then at the end of the turn, he switched to active mode so that you can block. So the idea, obviously, you'll swing to warp something, crit damage, and then at the end of the turn, restand him so you can use him to defend yourself with defensive stance strategy, right? Keep him so you can block something, whatever you block, you'll warp it the following turn and just keep that synergy going. Right, obviously, you can use stuff like the 4-star ball to, combo or keep it on the field longer. Then we have SA Shinron, which is a barrier blocker, and has the auto there at the end of the turn switch to active mode. So gotta have a blocker with barrier, right? So it'll stay on the field a little bit longer than normally would, right? So you can attack, defend, the usual. We have Dr. Leche, the Fire Spirit, it's a blocker. Auto, when you play this card, melt the top 2 card of your deck. Active main, pay 2, play this card from your drop. So it's a reusable blocker. Goku, the adventure begins. We use it for his first active main, which lets us grab the 4-star ball from our deck or drop area. And, obviously, we use the 4-star ball defensively to combo. Since it's an extra card, active battle effect doesn't count as actually comboing, therefore card effects that would try to prevent you from comboing won't prevent you from comboing, so to speak, right? So this is a reusable combo power right here. Goku, adventure begins. Obviously, if you have more than one copy, you can grab more than one balls, and it's always good to grab a lot of balls to help protect. Max Power Kamehameha negates an attack, and you can warp 4 cards from your drop in order to add it back to your hand so that you can, use it later. Has the active main where you can choose 20 plus battle cards that are higher than their energy cost, and then warp it. So there's some spot removal there for any problematic card. Power Burst, negate an attack. Add 1 black battle card from your drop or warp. That's, 1 cost. That's your Goku Adventure Begins. And then, if you have 5 or more cards in your drop, you can take a card from your life, add it to your hand, and play this for free. So it's a free negate in that regards. And it's the end.